But card embers are my hero.
Not a single medication could kill all this pain I'm feeling. I'm barely getting by. So I get a little drunk and I text you, baby.
So my office is overflowing with flowers. Really? Yeah. You didn't have to do that. Yeah, I did. Some people tell me that it was you centered. I don't know how to thank you. Well, that's what friends are for. Yeah, never had friends like you before. Come to think of it, I've never had family like you. No one's ever stood up for me like that. Now you have someone that will stand up for you, always.
Just let me hold you. I've been hanging by the phone, waiting for you to call me, 'cause you never call me back. Nah, guess you don't feel the same way I've been feeling about you, babe. But I don't want for you to
Loss does strange things to my family, and I have lost a lot of people. You're not gonna lose me. I think when I feel things again, I'm gonna be very, very afraid about the person I love you. You don't have to be afraid. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Promise? I will always be your friend. The safest place for you to be right now is with me.
just let me hold you. Just let me hold you.
You got that backwards. The loser name doesn't deserve me.
So I get a little drunk and I text you, baby, wondering if you're home, 'cause I need
I convinced myself that I was protecting you.
Just let me hold
And then
you.
one day you were so angry with me, with SuperCorp, that you still were calling.
Just let me love you like we'll never fade away. Fade away. Just let me hold you.
And I didn't want to lose you,
Just let me hold you.
so I kept pretending.
Just let me hold you.
SuperCorp. That little known phenomena that has taken the world by storm. Okay, it's too dramatic, but hasn't it? It seems like 100 years ago since I was a little SuperCorp virgin. I had no idea what it was. This was way back in 2017. I just started watching Supergirl. I remember, and I've said this in a previous video, was because of Kenny McGraw, and I thought I would probably be watching it for a couple of episodes. She wasn't a regular at the time. She was just a guest spot. And then I quickly realized in the first episode that I would be staying longer because Alex existed. And I didn't know I needed Alex Danvers in my life until I met her, and there we are. But I also wasn't a regular on Twitter, I guess, and I wasn't really... So, I had no idea what SuperCorp was. It was, at the time, it seemed like this little thing that grew, and now it's gone from a little baby to a giant because it's everywhere. TV Guide is like gushing over SuperCorp right now and has been for like a month or two. It's crazy. And I know that some people hate SuperCorp. Some people hate the very idea to their core. Most seem to be dead against the idea of a female lead heroine being romantically involved with another woman. I've heard the insanely stupid comment, but they're both straight. Okay, actually Kryptonians are not straight. They're pansexual, but okay. You need to start reading the comics. We've only seen Lena date 2 men. Okay? And I dated men. But I'm not straight. Another one I've heard is, Kara can't be gay, 'cause Alex is gay. That's my favorite one. That's my really favorite one. In every single family, there is only one gay person assigned. There can only be one person of the LGBT community in every single family. Otherwise, it's just too much gayness and there's too much flags. There is too much check and denim jeans going on in there. Too much. I want to ask the question whether the Supergirl writer's room are writing Supergirl into reality and we are enduring a long, slow burn love story, or does the show use the popularity to promote the show and in reality have no intention of making Supergirl canon, and instead will stick Kara and Lena with random boring dudes, where we see no chemistry at all. After all, this is the pattern so far. We've seen Kara with a cosmic playboy with all the brain capacity of an amoeba, Mon-El, watch scenes where our heroine is disrespected and gaslighted, verbally abused and emotionally manipulated, all while calling it love. They stuck Lena with James, the most randomest thing that has ever happened on this show. Before this, the show seemed to have forgotten James even existed, then used him as a love interest and a very bad one. I forgot that for that romance to work, we had to ignore the history of James being staunchly anti-Lena simply because of who her family is. Oh, and the time James told Lena she should be shot. That was the very same season, and only a few episodes before, he apparently discovered he was in love with her. How sweet. That old tired shit we keep getting played with. If he's mean and nasty to a girl, he must just be in so much denial of his true feelings as love. We gotta also ignore the fact that these two characters never displayed any kind of attraction to each other before, and Lena had to be told by Kara and Sam, I think Alex too, that she should date him because she was into him. Just a heads up, folks. If you need to be told how you feel by a third party, and a fourth party, and a fifth party, you don't feel what they are telling you. Also, when Lena broke up with James in season 4, it was Kara who convinced her to get back with him. The whole romance, the whole relationship was a pile of crap. It convinced no one, least of all me. It was awful to watch. You know, I have to mention that also the show seemed to push more and more Lena to James during a time when the actor who plays James was going through a very strange time with certain viewers. His views on women, but lesbian women, are very archaic and ignorant, and as a result, there was a lot of clashes. There was a lot of... I do recall one video of him throwing darts at a troll, and the implication was the trolls were these... and I found that very distasteful, and it seemed to be more a threat of violence than anything else. So the more this happened, the more they pushed Lena to James. And whatever you think of Lena, Lena is a character who a lot of gay women identify with for whatever reason. Whatever reason you pick. There's a lot of traits in Lena that are very relatable to people, especially gay women, for me. But hey, for me this was distasteful, and it seemed to be a deliberate act in season 4, a lot of the Lena content was unwatchable for me because I just couldn't watch him. To eradicate all of that and show us an affection, what did the writers do? Well, they took a relationship built up between Lena, Supergirl, and Kara, and they threw it into the fire. Used two women's friendship against each other so they could prop up a man. This was their attempt to show us James had changed, that he loved Lena. As a writer, this infuriates me. It's bullshit. In reality, what they did was just ruined his character. His character development from season 1 was completely demolished in this one act, where he throws his friend under the bus just so he can get into Lena's pants. This is the blunt truth. It isn't romantic. It was just nothing. You cannot use characters like this just so that you can suddenly build another that you have neglected for goodness knows how long. And especially in the case of a romance, it's lazy, it's forced, and it's pushed together. And as a result, I didn't meet many viewers who were convinced by it. Many seemed it as a pointless addition that didn't need to exist, that took up screen time. Very much like the love triangle in season 3 between Mon-El, Kara, and Imra. It didn't need to happen. It was pointless, stupid. It happens a lot in Supergirl. There's a lot of trim-ins that really need to be gone because they don't focus on the main storyline. They have a million pots on the stove and they can't keep them all going. So the main point is ruined. In season 3, if I must say this quickly, the Rain storyline, as a result, this was the big thing in season 3. The Rain storyline came in with a big, massive bang, and it was amazing. And it just died with a whimper because they focused too much on pointless crap. But what we see then, what they do then is, at the end of season 3, Lena is done with Supergirl. She's betrayed her. She didn't trust her. She's just like everybody else. What do they give us then? They give us in the beginning of season 4. They give us Supergirl's in trouble. Who do you call? Lena Luthor. And what does she do? She gets down to that DEO as quick as her little ass can carry her to help Supergirl. I mean, and she's already made the suit. That's how angry she was with Supergirl, okay? They tell you something, they show you something different. What can you do? I'm not a fan of the writing on Supergirl. I'm very vocal about this, but every so often they stumble upon gold. The scene in season 4 with Alex and Supergirl, where Supergirl's nearly dying or dead. This was an amazing scene. It was made even more amazing by the acting. It was beautiful. The scene in season 5 with Lena and Kara in the fortress, the acting between these two was insane in this scene. But now that I'm thinking about it, this wasn't the only scene in season 5 that we've seen so far between these two actresses. Melissa and Katie, that was... Season 5 has been the best season for these two. I've seen criticisms for these two actresses and how they act, and some people think they aren't good, but season 5 has really shown, if you've cared to look, how good they are. And they just can't say that enough. But in Supergirl, they have accidentally stumbled on gold because I don't think they started this with an intention. I think that they write it now because they realized it was popular. They realized it was gaining traction and pretty big. I mean, Tumblr's full. SuperCorp is always trending on Tumblr. It's really easy for SuperCorp to trend on Twitter too. Especially during new aired episodes. I'm not SuperCorp, but I have this little... I love the underdog, okay? I'm British. I love it when the little guy wins, right? And for me, this is SuperCorp. It started small, and it's building, and it's growing, And it fucking deserves to get there, says me. And to be 100% truthful, I'm looking at this with a professional eye. And it may not seem it, but I'm passionate about what I do. I'm not so much caring about shipping and supercores. It seems logical that they've done this work. They've built up these characters from the very moment they met. The acting between Katie and Melissa has never helped the theory that these women are more than friends. Do we look at our friends like Cara and Lena look at each other? Do we? Big, doughy eyes, the biting of the lower lip. I mean, I don't, but maybe you do. I mean, maybe I'm just not that into my friends. Maybe, I don't know. Would we fly to Paris to get our friend's favorite coffee, just like Cara did for Lena? I'm gonna be truthful, go out on a limb and say, no, of course not. This is a romantic act. There is a difference between going to your local store and picking up some stuff, but going to another country, another whole-ass continent for coffee? Yeah, no. This is a romantic act. And don't say, oh, Cara's got super speed. She can fly. Going to Paris is like going to the corner store. Who else has she done this for? Who? I will let you make a list. Did you make it yet? Because I did. It's no one. No one. Filling a room full of flowers is not an act of a friend. A bouquet of flowers, sure. But a whole room full of flowers? This is a romantic act. Let's face it, if Lena was a man, Cara and Lena would be heading for an endgame. They'd have kissed and hooked up by now. This is a fact. Cara and Lena first meet in Season 2. As Season 2 starts, Cara is dating James until, of course, she needs to be on her own and breaks up with James, only for her to begin dating Monel, jackass. Soon afterwards, the character of Monel is one of the most disgusting, grotesque characters I've ever seen in a show like this. I can't. He is repulsive. The way he treats women, the slave owning, every single bit. I hated how dumbed down Cara was in Season 2 and Season 3 just so they could pick up Monel because he is a weak ass. But it's not new in Supergirl. This happens a lot when female characters are partnered up. They are dumbed down in their intelligence, their strength, just so that they can build up a weak male character. If we go to a show like The Flash, we see something completely different. In The Flash, we have Barry and Iris is never dumbed down. In her strength, in her intellect, she is always equal to Barry. They never convey to us that Iris is this weak little woman waiting for her husband to save her, and Barry doesn't treat her like that. That's why I love The Flash, because the male and female characters are equal. Supergirl in Season 2 saves Lena from a malfunctioning commercial spacecraft. It's been sabotaged, and Cara and Clark deduce that Lena is the intended target of assassination. Lena is new to the city. She's here to take over the reins of Elcor from Lex Luthor. And SuperCorp was born. I really want to know who that very first person was who posted about SuperCorp. Who was that person? I want to know them. I want to know who they were. I want to know their names. Because they were the inventor of something brilliant. I sound like a SuperCorp shipper, don't I? People mistake me for one all the time. I'm really not. Oh, I say that was when SuperCorp was born, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was that first office scene. Or that where Lena first meets Cara. Not Supergirl. The eye fucking in that scene really worked its magic, I think. Some shit goes down. Lena is almost forced to marry the dumbass from Daxam. Saves National City from an invasion. You know, it's all in a day's work for Lena Luthor. She also finds an unwavering Cara Danvers. Unwilling to accept her offer of friendship, has been rejected. She sees something in Lena that the world doesn't. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Cara's heart is as big as the universe. Or maybe she saw what she was once, before she was taken in by the Danvers family. She saw a lonely woman who was lost, angry, and betrayed. Maybe that was it. And maybe she just wanted to fly onto that balcony and do all the naughty things I've seen in the SuperCorp fanfiction. Maybe. As I said, in Season 2, we saw a different Cara to the one presented to us in Season 1. This was 100% due to Mona. I've already explained my feelings about Supergirl writing relationship. They isolated Cara from Alex in the season. She was often alone with him. It constantly reminds me of a toxic relationship where one partner is isolating their loved one from their friends, from their family, because then the only perception they have is the one they give them, and it's always a toxic one. And we saw this very much evident in Season 2 of Supergirl, where Cara had no voice to back her up when Mon-El went off on his many rants, trying his utmost to make her feel like shit so he could do whatever crap he wanted. It was very 1950s-like. Make her the downbeaten little woman. The man's so much stronger. And because he is mean to her, it means he loves her, of course. Oh, why don't I think of that? My God. Jessica Qualla has got some weird ideas, hasn't she? In Season 2, they destroyed Cara. And we never got her back until probably the end of Season 4, I think. She fully returned in this Season 5, but the damage was done. The only consistency was Kara's relationship with Lena. It was built up and it has matured. It's the only character development that has progressed. Every single other character has been fucked over by pointless storylines and inane parents, dragging back a character they had already built up. I don't think the writers in the Supergirl writing room understand what character development is. But in SuperCorp, this continued to strengthen. Lena and Cara become friends, and they even give us an even harder wall when Lena becomes disillusioned with Supergirl, but she still loves Cara. Cara even says this in the scene where she comes out, essentially. She says you didn't like Supergirl, but you still loved Cara. Cara then has to keep her secret identity hidden. And this also gives me the question, Cara tells Nia very quickly after they meet her that she is Supergirl. Everyone knows. But why doesn't Lena? And Cara spent every single season since she met Lena, telling us how she trusts her, and she is not like the others in her family, but she doesn't tell her. Just putting that one out there again. We get the old tired Supercorp isn't going to happen, blah blah blah. This song from 2017 still sticks in my head. It really annoys me. I mean, I wasn't offended by it, but it just really annoys me. You know, the majority of people who ship SuperCorp are, members of the LGBT community. I'm not saying it's solely this, but it's the majority. Mocking, I mean, it's teasing. Maybe it wasn't meant to be mean and harsh, but that's the way it came across, mean-spirited. Let's not forget that while there does seem to be more LGBTQ characters on TV and in films today, this wasn't always so. And growing up for me, there was none unless it was negative. Mocking a community, for me, was in bad taste. And it was wrong. After this, you know, SuperCorp is never going to happen. Deal with it. It's not going to happen. In reality, the show needs to stop telling us one thing and showing us another. I've said this in the past. I've said this in this freaking video. They continue to bait with this ship, and it's tiring. They also use the old logic, the old storyline every season, it seems now. Will Lena go evil? No. The answer is no, they can't. We know this because Brainy's from the future. I mean, seriously, Brainy's from the frickin' future. He knows what's going to happen. Do you think he would be friends with Lena Luthor if she was evil? And again, I keep saying, trust Kara Danvers more. Pick a side, make a decision, make it canon, or stop with the queer baiting. For me, it's boring. This has happened before. If we think back to Once Upon a Time with Snow Queen. I mean, I came to that show really, really late. I watched it for the first time last year. Okay, I haven't finished it all yet. To be honest, as soon as Captain Hook comes along, he just leeches up the screen time like a freaking vampire. He's very much like Monel in this respect, but the show never keyed in that people didn't like him. So, unlike Supergirl, they kept Hook. Ugh, he's so boring. Anyway, it's not about him. Everything else is, but not this time. They queerbaited there, and even I, when watching it, was like, wait, what? These two women aren't flirting? Are you kidding me? What the fuck is going on? And I don't think I'm the person who thinks every single woman is flirting with each other. Like, seriously. Trust me. By that definition, I would think everybody was flirting with me, and trust me, that is not happening. Ultimately, queerbaiting is... it's untruthful, it's disingenuous, it's ill-judged, it is disrespecting your viewers. Now, either you are going to do this, you're going to follow through with what you're writing, because so far you will build this, so far Supergirl is building a love story. I'm sorry, if you look back at Lois and Clark, it's the same. The parallels between Lois and Clark and Lena and Kara are insane. There are parallels between Iris and Barry in The Flash. So many parallels. But I really think that this needs to end in some way. Either you grow some balls, grow some boobs, whatever, and make them canon, or you quit the queerbaiting. Because it's tiresome, it's boring, and it's dull, and it's playing with people's emotions. It's a TV show, yeah, it's a TV show, but people get invested in these characters. People get invested in them for one reason or another, and these characters become like friends. They become people we know. So, they need to have a conclusion. Does Kara and Lena stay friends? They will stay friends, no matter what, mind you. I mean, Lena's not evil. Let's put that one out there again. Or are they more? At the end of the day, it comes down to whether the Supergirl writers or producers are courageous enough, and in reality, are they? Is it really down to courage? So much publicity is gained from this one never gonna happen ship. Remember, tiny little ship, that little ship that could, and it, again, I'm just, oh my god, I really need to emphasize again, I am not a Supergirl shipper, but I think I think I may be a little bit in love with SuperCorp, okay? Because I love this idea. It's the writer in me. I can't help it. I love this idea that this little ship that everyone mocked, you know, even the cast, suddenly just grows and grows by each season. And it's not by anything the show is doing. It's by the fans. Just normal people like you and me. You know, like maybe our friends. And they grow it bigger and bigger and bigger. And I just love this idea that their sheer will and determination can take something so tiny and make it into something so beautiful. I found SuperCorp by a fanfiction art actually on Twitter. I think it was Twitter. It might have been Instagram. I don't remember. But it was so beautiful. It was soft and sweet. And I followed the artist. And I followed her since. I think it's been 2 years. She was just starting then. So it was kind of not bad, obviously, because it was really good. But to watch someone grow, I know because I see my own art. I watch it grow myself. But it's different when I see it in somebody else. But there's just one artist. SuperCorp has this whole community of artists. And it's just so I just can't say enough. My point is to take something tiny, something little, something small. How many times I can say small? And for it to be canon. For it to exist. To wish it into existence seems to be like everything we did as children. Doesn't it?